The laws lex orandi and credendi, lex vivendi mean the law of prayer, the law of belief, and the law of living. These laws are important because they guide us in our life in many ways. In the article we got in class, it says, lex orandi, lex credendi, and lex vivendi. As we worship, so we will believe, and so we will live. In order to live a good life, you need to worship right so you can believe, and then we can live according to your beliefs in God. Living like this can help you have a much better life, focus on the right things, and not being distracted by things that don't matter.
A guy named Brennan had just finished praying, and he realized that praying helps him strengthen his belief in God. He kept praying more often, and this led Brennan's belief in God to be very strong. But at this point, Brennan wasn't doing much outside of praying a few times a day. Eventually, Brennan realized that truly believing means he needs to do more than just pray. Brennan realized that he needed to live his life like how Jesus did. Brennan started to help out charities and also focused on how he could give back to his community. Brennan realized that in order to believe, he needs to pray to live. He needs to pray, and to live, he needs to believe. Brennan became a lot happier in his life. He started to realize all of the good things God gave him. He realized how blessed he was and started to pray for thankfulness more often. Overall, Brennan was a better guy who appreciated all the little things in life, and he gave back to his community.
Brennan learned that being Christian means more than just praying. The way we pray and worship affects our beliefs and how we live our life. In the article that was provided in class, the author states, how we worship not only reveals and guards what we believe, but guides us in how we live our Christian faith and fulfill our Christian mission in the world by manifesting the continuing presence of the risen Jesus Christ. This means being truly faithful and believing can help us to be a better Christian and person in general. Brennan started to pray more, and this led to his belief in God to get much better. And through this, he realized that he needs to live like Jesus the best he can. Brennan gave back and spread love in his community.
A fellow named Aaron was a Christian. He prayed and went to church sometimes, but he never went to the deeper meaning of prayer and usually just did it to do it. Aaron often questioned if God was real because his belief wasn't strong. Instead of turning to prayer for stronger belief, he just ignored it and lived his life. Aaron lived a fine life, had friends, played sports and video games, but he didn't see a point helping those around him. He figured they can fix their own problems and leave me out of it. Aaron thought that it didn't really matter if he helped people or not because he was torn if God and heaven was real. He figured what he didn't matter because there might not be life after death.
Aaron's lack of prayer and worship led him to have doubts, and he had a hard time believing in God. Aaron's disconnection with God made him not think of others, and he didn't help those in need. A quote from the website provided in class states, liturgical worship is not an add-on for a Catholic Christian. It is the foundation of Catholic identity, expressing our highest purpose. Worship reveals what we truly believe and how we view ourselves in relationship to God, one another, and the world into which we are sent to carry forward the redemptive mission of Jesus Christ. This quote shows us that we need to pray and believe so that we live life with God and Jesus. A life that is much better in many ways, like how we said in Brennan's theme.
Not only is it good to pray and worship, but prayer strengthens our relationship with God. Being close with God makes it easier to be closer with the people around us. Being close to God is also important to get to eternal life. The church needs to teach us this because praying isn't just enough, like seeing Aaron's story. A true Catholic needs to live by their beliefs in God. It is important for every Catholic knows this because this can make their life better and make them closer to God.
Instructions for Aaron.